now we are going to loop through members of a list. All right, so we are going to again rely on the very simple example that we had, states, which has members of DC, Virginia, Maryland, and New York. Now we saw how we can slice this list. Now we are going to see how we can loop through these members. All right, we have seen examples of this in the past. We can use simply for loop. For now we are going to use some counters name. It doesn't matter what I put here. All right, for it's pretty common to use item, or in this case I can write state for state in states. All right, print state. What this is going to do, this is going to go through every member of that states, all right, states list, and that member in every loop it's going to take the name of a state, and we are going to print that state. All right, let me run this, and we are going to get DC, Virginia, Maryland, and New York. Now there are things that we can do. It doesn't have to be again one line. We can say, you know what, print state times 2. We have seen this. If you multiply a list by 2, it is going to replicate the same element, and this is going to be DC, 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 and then Virginia, 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 and so on and so forth. Probably we don't need this. All right. Now, what if? Let me just put it, make it a comment. What if I want to print index of each of these members and the value? This is what I mean. For, let me again bring states, bring it here, it's in front of us, and say for state in states, print. Now, state is going to be each of those members, right? I can access each of those members index. How we are going to do it? I'm going to say states data index. Index of what? Index of state. All right, let's see what this is going to give us. This is before running it, what this is going to do, it is going to go through every single of those members, DC, Virginia, Maryland, and New York. And then in the print line, this line, it's going to say, hey, in the list of states, let me find index of that member. For example, for DC, first time DC is going to be the state. Its index is going to be 0. Next time, Virginia, its index is going to be 1 and 2 and 3. Let's run this. This is just a beginner example. All right, come on, what happened? Let me run this. There we go. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now, just to make sure that we know what we are doing, I'm going to print state one more. Print state one more time, and this is what we are going to get. We're going to get 0 DC, 1 Virginia, 2 Maryland, 3 New York. Let's see what we get. There we go. All right. Now, what if I want DC to be in front of 0, 1 in front of Virginia in front of 1, and so on and so forth. All right. What we can do, and in some classes we might have discussed this, we can use end equal to space. What this does, without this parameter of end in print statement, what is going to happen is that after printing that index state, it is going to go to the next line. When you pass end parameter to print statement, it is going to, instead of going to the next line, instead of pressing enter, it is going to use that character that we are giving and we are passing to end. In this case, it is going to be just one space. All right. The output is going to be 0 DC, 1 Virginia, 2 Maryland, 3 New York. Let's run this, and that's exactly what we have here. All right. Now, this one is a little bit can be confusing. This can be a little bit confusing. Python has a really nice function called enumerate. Let me walk you through that function. It's a little bit abstract at first, but it's very, very practical and useful. All right. I'm going to say I'm going to say in this time use a counter of item. It doesn't matter. You can still use a state. All right. For item in this time, I'm going to say enumerate of states. Print item. All right. Let's see what this is going to give us. This is exactly what we wanted, right? We wanted 0 in front of it DC, 1 in front of it Virginia, 2 Maryland, and 3 New York. Now you have those parentheses, and it can be a little bit confusing. Soon we are going to learn another data type called tuple, and this is technically is a tuple, but don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about it. All right. You see that this object itself, or this whatever you see on this screen, this has also two members: 0 DC, 1 Virginia, and so on and so forth. You know what? You can access those members using index of 0 and 1. All right. I'm going to say, you know what? Give me item 0. And I know it can be a little bit abstract right now, but it's okay. This is a perfect time to introduce this object. And I'm going to say use end equal to that, and then print item 1. And I don't pass the end to this one simply because I want to go to the next line. All right, let's see what we are going to get. Item 0 is going to be my index, and item 1 is going to be the state's name. All right, and there you go. This is a lot easier. This is a lot easier. This is a little bit cleaner than what you have right here. All right. That sums up our discussion on accessing members of, or looping through members of a list. There's a little bit more details involved, but that one over time we are going to learn it.